from the Music Industry City Broadcast Network. We're going to be beginning here shortly with our breaking headlines today. This is a great time to ping your friends into the room by using the plus sign. And don't forget, you can raise your hand or chime in the chat if you have comments or questions as we go through our reads today. How you doing, Angela?
I'm great. I'm just happily pinging. Ping, 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 ping.
Sometimes I ping so much that Clubhouse says, you need a break from pinging people into the room. And that's when I'm like, okay, yeah, you're probably right, Clubhouse. 10-minute break from pinging people sometimes. Today is Tuesday. We have some great headlines for you. Thanks for joining us on our stream. If you'd like to join on the video stream, you can do that. You can follow along with the headlines as we read them, and you can sign up for updates at musicindustrycity.com. And now we begin our countdown.
From New York, it's the Music News at Noon on the Music Industry City Broadcast Network. I'm Peter Schwing, and please join me in welcoming my co-host, Eli Window, and UK correspondent, Angela Randall.
Hello, Peter, and hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Angela.
Hello from the sunny shores of the United Kingdom.
Right on. In today's news, Triller versus TikTok patent infringement case heats up. Global music subscriber market shares. The SBA Shuttered venue grant update. UK welcomes the July 19th opening. Deezer launches ASMR channel. And as always, our daily Spotify update. Those stories coming up. But first, let's take a look at this day in music history with Eli Window. Eli.
All right, let's look at this day in music history. On this day, July 13th, 2004, we lost Arthur Killer Kane, bass player with the New York Dolls, who died age 55 after checking himself into a Los Angeles emergency room complaining of fatigue. He was quickly diagnosed with leukemia and unfortunately died within 2 hours. In memory, Arthur Killer, bass player with the New York Dolls. Moving on, birthdays today. Born on this day, 1942, Roger McGuinn, guitar and vocals of the Byrds. Born this day, also 1942, Stephen Blatt, drummer with the American rock band, the J. Geils Band. And born today, in 1955, Mark the Animal Mendoza, of course, bassist for the band Twisted Sister. And born this date in 1974, Canadian R&B singer-songwriter and actress Deborah Cox. Happy birthday. Moving on to this day in music history. On July 13th, 1969, over 100 U.S. radio stations banned the Beatles' new single, The Ballad of John and Yoko, due to the line, quote, "Christ, you know it ain't easy," end quote, calling the song offensive. On this day in 1985, at 12:01, Status Quo started the Live Aid extravaganza held between Wembley Stadium, London, and the JFK Stadium, Philadelphia. The cream of the world's biggest rock stars took part in the worldwide event, raising over 40 million pounds. TV pictures beamed to over 1.5 billion people in 160 countries made this the biggest live broadcast ever known to date. And on July 13th, 1990, Curtis Mayfield was badly injured after a strong gust of wind blew a lighting rig onto him during an outside concert in Brooklyn, New York. And on this date, 2015, rapper 50 Cent filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. A report in the Wall Street Journal said 50 Cent, and he is a businessman and actor, he reportedly had assets and debts in the range of 10 million to 50 million US dollars. Crazy day in music history for rapper 50 Cent and for Curtis Mayfield. I'm a big fan. I can't imagine having a lighting rig blow over on me at an outdoor concert. Glad he was ultimately okay after that. But what a day in music history. Now over to my co-host, Peter Schwing. Peter.
All right, and as John Lennon and Yoko Ono said, Christ, you know it ain't easy.
Well, they weren't lying.
Right. All right. This is where we summarize the most essential news in the fast paced music industry. I'd also like to thank everyone who's tuning in on our video live stream. How you doing, everybody? Good to see you. And, we have a couple updates to the website I just want to talk about really quick. Is you can go to musicindustrycity.com, and if you're registered and logged in, we actually now put all of the headlines into a blog post. And you'll see that every morning. So probably by 10 a.m. Eastern, around that time, that blog post will go live and you'll be able to see what we're going to cover. So if there's something of interest to you, you can see, hey, we're going to talk about that. They're going to cover it. And if you want to offer some commentary, just let us know. And that way you also, when you click on that, there is a chat feature. So you can tune in to the video live stream right from that post. You can see the articles. You can also make sure to join the newsroom group, and you can post in our thread. So if you have some real-time comments, if you don't want to come to the stage, you just want to chat with your fellow viewers, you can comment right in there, and we'll be watching that, and we can read it on screen. And with that being said, again, musicindustrycity.com, and you can register for free. It's free for now. And to set the stage for the roundtable of conversation, we begin by reading key media pieces. And if you'd like to provide commentary, you can request to join the stage later on. And to set up this and all of everything else, you can register for free at musicindustrycity.com. And let's get to it. All right, and this first piece is from digitalmusicnews.com. To access all the articles mentioned in today's show and throughout the week, you can register, like I just said, and you can click on that article. If you are not registered, you can still see it in our show notes, which is on the website, and click on the show notes graphic. But that will be phasing out over the next few weeks. We have been putting everything in the show notes. That is going to change, so it's you'll make sure to register so you can keep on getting that exclusive access. All right, this one starts off: Triller versus TikTok patent infringement lawsuit is coming to California. Triller filed a large complaint in Texas federal court in late July of 2020, claiming TikTok and its parent company ByteDance of infringing on its patent. The presiding judge has appointed the defendant's request to have the case transferred to California. Triller stated in the original complaint that the defendants had infringed on the 6-year-old patent titled, quote, "Systems and Methods for Creating Music Videos Synchronized with an Audio Track." According to the complaint, the USPTO approved the application in 2017, and the controversy states that TikTok directly and indirectly infringed upon the patent by allowing its own users to time up their videos with music. However, executives rejected the accusation and responded with their own lawsuit in late October of last year. The counter-plaintiffs contended that California is a proper forum because it is a state where all of the relevant parties are based. Okay, so there's a patent that to put a video to music and sync it. Of course there is. I mean, that's not surprising. But how many apps that, this goes back to Musical.ly before it became TikTok. And how many others were there? Are there any other platforms really that have been doing this? And what is syncing audio to music? I mean, that's just, video to music. That's kind of anything, isn't it? So, I don't know.
I have noticed that on TikTok, and I don't use TikTok, so I'll hold my hands up there. But when they repost TikTok on Instagram, there's what lists it as original content if there've been any sort of remixing, or if it's compiling the audio track that they've chosen with the audio from the actual video. So I'm wondering if that isn't what they're talking about it being embedded or having it synced with the audio track. So it's a unique version, I suppose, but that would be my guess.
Yeah, so we'll see. All right. And I'm sure, as with any of these, they'll drag on for years. All right, moving over to global music subscriber market shares in Q1 of 2021. And this is from Mark Mulligan's and Media Research, the music industry blog. And it's always jam-packed with lots of information. So just to kind of summarize a little commentary on this one is the emphasis here in the article is on the rapid increase in music subscriptions. And because in 2020, there were 100 million new music subscribers, which brought the total to 467 million. There were just 83 million net new customers in 2019. And a further 19.5 million new customers were added in the first quarter of 2021, bringing the total of 487 million. So while the failure of subscription revenues to keep up with the pace resulted in a 9% drop in ARPU in 2020, this obscures the massive momentum in paid user adoption. And Mark, the media blog, he has some great talks and posts about ARPU, so if you want to dig into that deeper. It goes on to talk about Spotify's global domination continues with the company adding 27 million net customers between Q1 of 2020 and Q1 of 2021, more than any single service. Google was the fastest growing music streaming service in 2020, expanding by 60%, with Tencent coming in second at 40%. And then for the past few years, Google's YouTube Music has been the standout story of the music subscription market. According to early indications, YouTube Music is becoming to Gen Z what Spotify was to millennials a decade ago. And then it talks about emerging markets are increasingly essential to the music subscriber business, accounting for 60% of all 2020 subscriber growth in Latin America, Asia Pacific, and the rest of the world. One question that I look at this and I say, when Spotify rolls out all these extra plans, and if you switch a plan, or say switching a plan, but that's not a new subscriber. But if you have a plan and you say, I want to do the family plan or the duo plan. So if, my partner and I are living together and we're two accounts, but we then decide to have a duo plan, does that count as a new plan? So while they lose two, they gain one? When we're talking about net, that's a thought of like, is that considered a new account as opposed to just saying it's two accounts? Just a thought. And what we're also looking at here is these, the emerging markets, and they also had a great post on emerging markets last week. So definitely check this out. Moving along over to the SBA with the Shuttered venue grant applications. And here's another update. The Small Business Administration said on July 12th that nearly half of the 15,026 applicants for Shuttered venue operators grants have been notified. Following a lengthy rollout of the program, which was enacted into law in December as part of the pandemic stimulus package, the SBA figures reveal that 6,610 applicants have been notified of their successful grant and the amount of money they would receive from the program. Of those, 440 have been declined. 2,374 are live music venue operators or promoters. 734 are talent representatives. And the SBA has also made a decision on eligibility for another 5,902 applicants, which implies they will be notified soon about the success, failure, or need for revision. According to the data released on Monday, the SBA has decisioned on 86% of the total applications received, and another 11% of applications are being assessed by the administration, with another 3% awaiting evaluation. Since May 26, the SBA has distributed $3.3 billion in federal financing to venues, promoters, talent agencies, zoos, museums, and movie theaters as of midday Monday. And it says another $1.7 billion has been granted but has yet to be deposited. Zoos? I didn't know zoos were all part of this.
For just a moment, I have to set the whole zoo portion of this commentary aside, because I just want to say, let's have this funding. Let's have this funding. I can set the fact that zoos are included here aside. If we all get our money, let's go funding. Let's go funding. Let's get it.
Let's get it out there. I mean, it's still, they're saying it's going to take, at first you get the award notification, then you have to accept the award, then they pay it out. I mean, they were saying last month that some of these awards some of the payments won't be rolling out till August.
This almost feels like the flunk out class in college where they schedule it, every weekday at 8 a.m. and hope that most people sleep through it and don't pass. It feels almost like they're hoping somebody's going to miss one of these emails and miss one of the steps in the chain and not get their funding. So if you're out there and you're waiting on one of these grants, make sure that you do keep an eye on your email, check your junk, check your spam, check your all emails inbox, and make sure that you grab those emails when they come in. You don't want to sleep through that freshman class, so to speak. You want to make sure that you catch all their emails, especially if you're waiting on funding. And if you've already received your acceptance or your funding, congratulations. We'd love to know about it in the chat, or if you want to raise your hand and let us know. Over to you, Peter.
Right on. Thanks for that. Yeah, I mean, it's also a perfect time to promote. I am so excited about what's happening on the musicindustrycity.com website with these posts now that we're going to post the article up at around 10 a.m. Eastern of all the headlines so you can follow along and read. Check them out. So at 10 a.m., here's what we're going to be talking about, but you can go read those articles first. So if there's anything that you want to add to the commentary, and in each one of those posts is a forum. So you join the newsroom forum and you can chat amongst yourselves. And if you want to submit a story for consideration, you can do it right in that forum. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to keep talking about it. Can't stop me. But I'm not going to be around tomorrow. So I'll be in commute. I'll be on a plane at this time. So with that being said, let's get on to the next one. The Global Citizen Live 24-hour special to feature BTS, Ed Sheeran, The Weeknd, Lorde, Doja Cat, and dozens more stars. The philanthropic organization has revealed plans for Global Citizen Live, a 24-hour spectacular that will be broadcast live from 6 continents on September 26th. According to Global Citizen, the broadcast webcast will mostly be live for a majority of those 24 hours, with musicians or speakers from 6 continents performing in front of audiences ranging from New York Central Park to Paris' Champ de Mars. CEO Hugh Evans told Variety, quote, "There's going to be live audiences all around the world. We will have a full 60,000 audience in Central Park and a full audience in front of the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and is by far the most important thing we've ever done." Global Citizen has several goals in mind for the day-long show, including raising consciousness and soliciting big donor funds in support of combating poverty, climate change, and international vaccine inequities. Good for Hugh. I had a chance a few times to meet with Hugh years ago when it was already massive, but it wasn't even on this scale. He's a very wonderful person, brilliant, and for doing such great work for a great cause. So it's great to see this. And with that, why don't we check in with Eli?
All right, Peter is going to check in with me. I want to remind you to check in with your friends. You can ping your friends into the room by using the plus sign at the bottom of the room. Or if you'd like to chime in and let us know your thoughts, you can feel free to type your comments or questions into the chat if you're viewing on our video stream, or raise your hand to join the discussion. You want to make sure that you raise your hand, you want to make sure that you visit our website where you can find all sorts of content, both on and off of Clubhouse. You can check out our headlines as we read them or ahead of time so that you can let us know if you have comments in real time. You can also register for free for now on our website and find our video stream link where you can watch everything that we are doing behind the scenes and see what we actually look like when we try to read some of these things that come out with no proofreading sometimes. So feel free to join us on our website, and that website is musicindustrycity.com. Also, we are here each and every weekday at 12 Eastern, so make sure that you join us. Music News at Noon, live from New York. Let's move on with our headlines. We see live and nighttime sectors welcome confirmation that venues in England can fully reopen next Monday. And with more on this headline, we go to our UK correspondent, Angela Randall. Angela?
Thanks, Eli. This one comes from CMU, Complete Music Update. British authorities confirmed yesterday that the majority of the remaining COVID restrictions in place in England will be lifted beginning next Monday. For the live industry, this implies that all clubs and venues can reopen and full house events can resume. Many medical specialists have criticized the decision to lift so many COVID guidelines at once, despite the fact that another coronavirus outbreak is ongoing. One new regulation that could have gone into effect yesterday, requiring venues and clubs to verify people's COVID status on entrance via the NHS app, will not go into effect next week, as it is on the quote recommendations list rather than the quote remaining rules list. Yesterday, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson said we cannot simply revert instantly from next Monday to life as it was before COVID. We will stick to our plan to lift legal restrictions and to lift social distancing, but we expect and recommend that people wear a face covering in crowded and enclosed spaces where you come into contact with those you don't normally meet, such as on public transport, end quote. He continued, quote, we will stick to our plan to lift legal restrictions and to lift social distancing, but we expect and recommend that people wear a face covering in crowded and enclosed spaces where you come into contact with those you don't normally meet, such as public transport. We're removing the government instruction to work from home where you can, he went on, but we don't expect that the whole country will return to their desks as one from Monday, end quote. This goes on just a bit to clarify things, but generally this is kind of the news that we really want to hear. And the two medical experts that were presenting alongside Prime Minister Boris Johnson yesterday made comments to the effect that at current we are seeing a rise in cases, but still a relatively slow and very low rise in hospital admissions and deaths, which means that the vaccination rollout program is working, and that the Delta variant has not made the impact that was anticipated had we opened as planned several weeks ago. So it has in fact worked. And the other piece of information that's important to note here is that because the school holidays here begin next week for most students, this next 6-week period will be a time when schools will be closed and it will still be summer. And they did make it quite clear that with that window of opportunity, we could potentially try and collect as much data as possible by opening, rather than having school bubbles being closed and people having to reschedule everything and change everything and isolate. There's also plans to axe the isolation periods for people who have been double jabbed and for those under the age of 18 from mid-August, which they'll review in the coming weeks after this initial reopening period. But for the moment, we're all sort of rejoicing on the idea that we'll be back to as close to normal as we can do next week. And with more on this, we'll continue to update you here in the Music News Power Hour. Back to you, Peter.
Thanks for that, Angela. If we go back, I mean, as you know, looking back when Boris Johnson originally delayed it by 4 weeks. Now, that was during a time when the Delta variant and there were spikes. I think there was, and even yesterday or over the weekend or Friday, whatever it was, over 36,000 new cases are popping up in the UK. And we're looking at other countries as well. I mean, Netherlands shutting back down in certain areas. I'm on my way to Barcelona, and they just started closing out some parts of Valencia. And what the issue is, primarily because UK and also Spain, well, Spain represented as Europe, so I can't call UK Europe at all. But Spain is leading in vaccinations overall, except in, I think it's the 19 to 24-year-old range, where they're one of the lowest in vaccinations. And what's happened is, the kids, they're going out for those illegal raves and their long hair and their rock and roll and, partying it up. And, a lot's been spreading. So now they've instilled curfews, and things are starting to shut back down. And in Portugal, the same thing's happening. Is there talk of this fear that with this Delta variant, and now that the doors are just flung open, that we're going to see those cases of nearly 37,000 per day in the UK double or triple in the next few weeks? And is it something that they're looking at saying, well, we're just going to look at that spike and get it over with as we're still rolling out more vaccines? Or is it, saying we're looking more to just deal with this in a long term, and hopefully let's go back to that old saying, the curve will flatten in a week?
I think the point that they were trying to make yesterday, and that question did come across from several of the journalists and members of the public when they did the Q&A following the press conference, and the question that came up was, when they ran the numbers for opening back up in several weeks, in a month, in September, on and on, that there wasn't a whole lot of difference between the projected amount of cases and the projected amount of hospitalizations and deaths, whether they do it now in August and September, and but the one way in which it does ring true that it would be different is in October and November, when we start to see colder weather and people being indoors far more often. The opportunity to sort of get real data as to how we're operating on a fully open society will change with that variable being in place. So I think they're optimistic that with everyone continuing to get the option to be vaccinated by September, and combined with collecting that data now while the weather is warmer, people will be outside more, and we're able to sort of get our jabs, as and when. It seems to be the perfect storm of sort of throwing everything at it. And they're calling it an exit event. That's what they're suggesting this is, rather than another lockdown of any sort. So it does seem as though they're on their way out for what they're going to consider national solutions. And one would hope that these will just be in pockets once we get some data. So we'll keep you posted, but that's as much as we know for now.
Right on. Thanks for that. All right, we're gonna stay over there in the area of the Netherlands, and this is from IQ Mag. And again, all the articles can be found on the Music Industry City website, and that's musicindustrycity.com. If you're not registered, just click on the show notes graphic, and that'll show you the articles. If you are registered, click on the big picture that says music news and has today's date in the title, and it'll take you to those articles, and you can join in the chat. We have a chat functionality right there, so you join the newsroom group. So one of the new benefits of being registered at musicindustrycity.com for free. All right, and this is ID&T joined by raft of co-plaintiffs for the government case. More than 30 other event organizations have joined ID&T in their legal action against the Dutch government as co-plaintiffs. ID&T, which produces events such as Mysteryland, Sensation, Milkshake, and Decibel Outdoor, announced on July 9th that it will file a summary case against the Dutch government over new COVID restrictions, which were reinstated just weeks after they were abolished. According to the co-plaintiffs, the Dutch government's decision to prohibit non-seated public gatherings and multi-day festivals until August 14th is, quote, carelessly prepared and incorrect. In preliminary remedial proceedings, the organizers have sought the judge for authorization to hold public events that meet the Field Lab criteria. Field Lab's conditions for organizing a safe event without social distancing are based on events from 3 months of trial events and have been approved by the Dutch government. At the moment, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte has stated the government won't give any more clarity until August 14th for events after that date, leaving organizers in the dark. Sounds like the Netherlands are having their UK moment.
Yeah, well, we just hope that we're not following suit, but they do have a point, because it does seem as though the Dutch government was a bit hesitant with their data, and I think that's what we're trying to avoid here in the UK. So fingers crossed, we can only jump when they say it's time to jump.
Yeah, I think one of the things we were talking about this in the Good Day room is these studies and these trials were based on tests allowing people that were tested and had to be shown to be negative to enter a venue to be around other people that don't have the virus. And they wanted to see how many people catch the virus. And the headline comes out weeks or a month later in some cases that studies show that the public events doesn't show that infection spreads. Well, if the people inside are tested negative and you have a bunch of people that aren't sick, well, it's less likely that anybody's going to get sick. And I mean, it was important for the fact of showing from a carrier standpoint. Can a person that's not showing symptoms, things like that, can they be a carrier? Yes. But the fact is, there's the people reading these headlines saying that these events aren't showing that coronavirus spreads by attending these events. But when you have let's say 99% of the people didn't have it in there, and maybe you have 3 cases or 5 cases that some of them were saying. And also, you don't know where they could have caught that because it can happen anytime if it's a 14-day incubation period. So they could have caught it anywhere else as well. So that's why that old report was like 3. I think it was 6, they said. 2 of them where they weren't sure. 2 of them they ruled out. And 3 of them or 4 of them, I can't do math right now, was saying that, they definitely didn't catch it there. So whatever those numbers were, but I mean, that's the headline. That's what people are reading and saying, oh, look, hey, it said that these tests. But when you have a test that people aren't sick, there's less chance of things being spread that don't exist. And with that being said, let's go over to South Africa, continuing our international tour. The South African music industry hopes for growth in 2021. After a rough year in 2020, the South African recorded music sector appears to be on the mend in 2021. According to Music Ally, recorded music income in South Africa fell by 2.8% last year as physical music sales and performance rights income dropped. South Africa saw a significant increase in streaming revenue in 2020, at least in percentage terms, but this was insufficient to compensate for other losses. Temi Adiniji, managing director of Warner Music South Africa, seems unconcerned about the outcome. She goes on to say, all the trends in South Africa before the pandemic were showing growth, which was a real positive. However, physical sales were declining, so when COVID coincided with the loss in physical revenue, recorded music revenue took a hit. And in that, you can go, and the entire report is in a link in that article, and this article is from musically.com. Musixmatch. Let's talk about Musixmatch. The lyrics-focused Musixmatch gets into the distribution game, and this is interesting because we are seeing a lot of companies tack on the word distributor. Musixmatch, which is best recognized for its lyrics-related services, has collaborated with Spotify, Apple Music, and Instagram on numerous lyric integrations over the years, as well as Amazon, Shazam, Google, Tidal, and Vivo. Now the company is taking a step that has been increasingly common for music tech companies. It's entering the distribution market. Musixmatch Pro is the company's new tier, which it describes as, quote, a self-service platform for all music creators and professionals to verify music credits, claim and administrate copyrights, distribute music, and get paid. And in this article, the author writes, the phase all music makers is essential. And Musixmatch continues to go on saying, we want to rematch the recording and publishing worlds through a single entry point. All right, this is going to be interesting to see. It's like, what kind of revenue splits they're going to be talking about. What's this price, this tier? And they're pushing musicians are urged to sign up for notifications as it launches. This whole distribution market, I mean, let's go back a decade, and that was around the time that we were seeing as distributors became not more important than a label, but were acting as more label services were being added on, adding marketing departments to the distribution company, and independent distributors, TuneCore, CD Baby. I mean, that goes even further back. But that broke down the barrier to entry, less friction for any musician to get things out there. Now you're looking at another platform saying, well, you can use us for distribution, and we're going to have all these different services, but we're a lyrics company. I mean, the verticals become weird now. I mean, is this where we start to see so much dilution in distribution? I mean, if you look at DistroKid, I'm a fan of DistroKid for the extent that they have been leaders, and TuneCore as well, leaders in being able to get your music into TikTok. They were some of the first ones to get into TikTok, high res, Dolby Atmos, other platforms. I mean, for any artist coming up, it's like, oh, well, here, I can put it up on Musixmatch. I mean, we're going to have to see what the benefits are. I mean, are they going to be able to distribute it as wide? Are they going to be able to collect, as efficiently and effectively as these other companies? And we're also seeing white label distribution services where you will actually be able to have your own distribution service. You can white label a platform. I think that's really cool for more of like the content creator side of the music economy, where you have your Twitch streamers and, content creators that are also musicians. I think that's that's going to be really cool. And then of course they'll stick it as an NFT and put it on the blockchain. But it's, at what point does it become too saturated? And if anybody has some thoughts on this, please feel free to throw in the comments in the newsroom or in the green room, or raise your hand and jump up on the stage. Would love to hear more.
I wonder too if the new advent of lyric videos hasn't played somewhat of a part in this. Whereas lately, some of the the new artists that I like, have been releasing official videos just after their track, and then a day or two later, a lyric video pops up, and it's an official lyric video. It's been created by the band and or by the label, and it's coming up as sort of a second asset, a video asset, because lyric videos have become so popular that I wonder if Musicmatch hasn't, doesn't have a play there whereby they can guarantee collecting the rights for those, as most of the time previously lyrics videos were made by fans or fan clubs or management companies, even just as another way to get the music out there, in a new video format. But I wonder if that hasn't played a part here as well, because they seem to be such a popular medium now.
I would love to see distributors get their music into other video editing softwares and some of those AIs, like InVideo, Vidnami. Vidnami was like the perfect example. I mean, everybody's seen a Vidnami created video on YouTube without even knowing it. It's basically you upload a script and you press a button and it creates images. You select a piece of music, it puts in OLEs, so you have, closed captioning, you have everything, and you can select music. And well, Vidnami is shutting down because it just was acquired by GoDaddy. But there's plenty of these platforms that could really use a boost in good music as opposed to just corporate stock music. And I think this would be a great way. So if anybody out there is listening, let's do something. And it's like, let's come up with something really cool. I mean, think about it. Those kind of areas where this could really be beneficial to musicians, because they are already going to stock music libraries. Why not allow your music to get in there by tacking on that feature, like what DistroKid and Tutorial did with TikTok? If you want your music be cleared on TikTok, if you want your music whitelisted so it can be played on Twitch, so your Twitch streamer and gamer can use your music without a DMCA takedown notice, go for it. So if they can do that with these other upcoming wave of AI platforms with video incorporated, I think you're onto something. And with that, let's move over to Beatport. It's a complete music update. Beatport launches a mental health report for electronic artists. The dance music marketplace has released a new analysis on mental health and electronic music called Music Connects Us: Mental Health and Electronic Music. It includes comments from artists as well as mental health specialists, and it strives to highlight the needs of artists in the aftermath of the pandemic. Beatport CEO Rob McDaniel says, quote, "Mental health has been one of the most talked about topics in our industry for years, and this is a global topic that should continue to be discussed and destigmatized." One of the report's contributors, Ari Peralta from the consultancy Origami, especially emphasizes the importance of music in promoting and safeguarding each individual's mental health. The new research comes on the heels of Beatport's special 24-hour Reconnect broadcast in November, which also focused on mental wellness. Download the study for free in the links in the article, which is on CompleteMusicUpdate.com, which you can access all the articles in our show notes at musicindustrycity.com. All right, let's move over to Deezer. I wasn't expecting this, and there's some surprising numbers in here. Deezer launches a dedicated ASMR channel featuring Tom Jones, Ava Max, Alicia Keys, and more. I mean, ASMR, I was thinking Twitch streams, but hey, let's put it on a Deezer channel. ASMR is an abbreviation for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. Millions of people on the internet describe it as a tingling sensation that starts at the crown of their head and travels down the spine. ASMR can be triggered by a wide range of sounds, which has resulted in a thriving ASMR sound community on YouTube and Twitch. So Deezer intends to attract some of the audience that uses YouTube to help them sleep at night. Nigel Harding, Deezer's VP of Global Artist Marketing, said to Digital Music News, quote, ASMR content is becoming increasingly mainstream, and Deezer has seen a consumption of it increase by 248% worldwide since the start of 2020. ASMR sessions give fans a new, unexpected twist on the game, featuring some of the world's biggest artists bringing their lyrics to life with an intensity you've never heard before. And so they've enlisted the help of celebrities such as Alicia Keys, Tom Jones, Ava Max, James Blunt, and Youngblood. Each artist turns one of their tracks into an ASMR session, creating a previously unheard track. It also includes 5 original songs sung by the original artist in order to elicit the ASMR sensation. They say everything from the track, including individual noises like talking, tapping, and breathing, is placed in different positions inside a simulated 360-degree audio area in the immersive experience. According to Deezer, now here are the numbers I was talking about. According to Deezer, 63% of 12,000 people polled claim they engage with ASMR content of some kind, and 61% of those polled do so at least once a week. I had no idea ASMR was this I mean, I knew it was growing. I didn't know it was that popular. We'd have to look at you'd have to dig into more what the sample source is. But I mean, when you hear 63 and 61%, that's more than I expected. And now I'm going to have to go and put on my, the ASMR channel on Twitch. And with that being said, it's our favorite time of the show.
Big green dot. It's the spot.
The big green dot, it does hit the spot. It's time for our Spotify spot, where we look at digital music streaming technology as part of our headlines. But first, we want to check in with the weather. For many of our listeners, it's summer's high. It's warm July. And for all of us, the weather just called to say it loves us. Over to you, Peter, now for the Spotify spot.
Oh, I feel all warm and cuddly now after that. So
that's just the humidity you're feeling. That's the...
I don't think in New York here, I do not think the weather loves us today at all. It's for the last, this whole week, I think it's pretty messy.
I just have to say, if this is what it means when the weather loves us, then I think it's loving us a little bit too much. Kind of mice and men love is what we're seeing here. If this is love from the weather in New York, it's miserable.
Well, at least we're not doing 130 something degrees in Death Valley. So I'll take that. All right, with that, Spotify launches a free premium offer for TikTok users in the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Poland, and Turkey. TikTok has partnered with Spotify to provide qualified TikTok customers in 7 markets with Spotify Premium for free. The deal will also be offered in the UK and 6 other European countries for 3 to 4 months of free Spotify Premium, depending on the market. The offer is open to eligible customers aged 18 and up who have a TikTok profile in the aforementioned countries, the previously mentioned countries, and who have never subscribed to Spotify Premium before. Those who qualify will receive a one-of-a-kind code that will allow them to redeem the Spotify Premium offer. TikTok users can find the offer on their mobile devices by searching for Spotify in the app, clicking on the profile icon on the Me page. And that partnership is live as of today. With that being said, that's it for the reads. That's it. Let's see. Let me pull up here and say hi to everybody on the live stream again. What's going on? If you have any comments, you can join us in that chat in the live stream or on the website in the newsroom group. Hello, how you doing? Daniel, welcome to the newsroom group. So Blessing, how you doing? I just see they just signed up and joined the newsroom group. So feel free to leave some comments in the article pages there. So here, Spotify, they were talking about, there was an article, Mark Mulligan's article, and some others saying that Spotify, had the growth, and we were talking about, what counts as a new subscriber. So if they're giving away all these free subscriptions, great for market share. emerging countries, emerging markets.
Yeah, I seem to recall a certain UK correspondent hearing the news that certain other sites were losing a bit of their market share to TikTok, and that there would soon be some sort of a push to try to gain that audience back. And I think they must have heard me, or somebody, and somebody listening, someone must have heard me in this room a month or so ago when we were reviewing that data. It looks like that's what they're doing here, that they really just want to capture that next generation who are discovering music on TikTok, and they want to try to get them to build their library, which I think is something that's understated about Spotify's real purpose for a lot of people. We've talked a lot about how they want to be an audio platform. They want to be a platform for podcasts and audio of all kinds, but not just music discovery. But the one thing that it has become for a lot of people who have been users for some time is the modern day equivalent of your rack of CDs or your record collection, where it's all really stored. I have both Apple Music and Spotify, and I have to double up everything, because if I save something on my Spotify account on my playlists or in my library, it doesn't automatically save to my Apple Music one. So when I'm searching for what's in my library, I have to kind of, rely on that. And I think that a lot of these people that are discovering music on TikTok may find that one of the key uses of Spotify is to have all the music that they love in one place. So, yeah, good luck to them. I think it's a brilliant strategy.
Yeah, and it counts the market share. Two things there. One, this goes back to Amazon. It reminds me of Amazon many years ago. I mean, this is what was that decade? The aughts. I really didn't like the aughts. I always disliked that term. But I think it was around that time when Amazon Music, everything was rolling out, and they started like giving away like Gaga's album for $2.99. I mean, they were taking the hit. I mean, they still had to pay up, but they were taking the hit on it so they could just generate market share. And they moved 2 points over the course of a year from 9 to 11% market share. I mean, great, smart move. That's huge. That's huge in that time, or any time really. To move 2 points is in that, when everything was coming up like that. But the other thing that you mentioned upon is talking about Spotify as an audio platform. I feel it's just more of an entertainment platform, not just audio. Remember, there is video on Spotify, just not talked about much. Okay, this whole, can't find the word right now, but the whole thing about what they're doing with exclusive content and buying these podcasts, testing out exclusive content, rolling out different, full 360 audio engagement. We'll see what happens with Green Room if they integrate that with, Spotify Music. See how that rolls out. I mean, that's going to take some time to. That Green Room rollout was kind of a mess. And if, hi Green Room, I know we're over there too. So what's up? How you doing? There's going to have to see how that goes. But remember, there is video, and I feel that we're going to see this full entertainment ecosystem roll through, and you're going to see more acquisitions in the next. Well, of course, I mean, I'm not like going Nostradamus here on saying that we're going to see Spotify make more acquisitions, but it's going to be interesting to see what the acquisitions are, because they've now, with their podcast and with the ad platforms and the discovery platforms for podcasting, so they've really now become a full ecosystem on podcasting inside the music streaming. So it's, we're going to see that over time, it's going to be fully integrated with multiple silos, and I think it's cool. I like it. And that's just my thoughts. If anybody else has some thoughts, feel free to raise your hand, join the stage, come on up here. We're gonna hang out for just another couple of minutes as we get final thoughts from Eli and Angela. But feel free to join us on stage or in the comments.
Well, I just want to take a moment and encourage everyone again, if you're waiting on Shuttered venue grant funding or application approval, please double check all of your email inboxes and make sure that you respond appropriately to all the calls to actions from the SVOG, so that you make sure you get that money. Let's Go funding. Make sure that funding comes in, whether you are running a zoo or other type of establishment. I forget, wasn't that mentioned in the article? Anyway, if you have interest in this article or if you want to share information with us, make sure that you head to our website where you can register for free, check out all of our articles in real time or even before the show as we begin our reads. And you can also check out our video stream. So hello to everybody who's joining us today on the video stream chat. Thanks for watching, and thank all of you for listening on behalf of myself, Eli, and our UK correspondent, Angela Randall. Thanks for being part of our broadcast and joining our discussion. And don't forget, we are the Music News at Noon, coming to you live from New York at noon each weekday from the Music Industry City Broadcast Network. Make sure that you visit our website where you can find all sorts of content on and off of Clubhouse. That is musicindustrycity.com. Over to my co-host, Peter Schwing.
Yeah, I also wanted to just final thoughts from Angela before we wrap. I know we're going to keep an eye on things, and tomorrow I am not going to be here because I am going to be probably sitting in the airport. Maybe I will check in if I have free time. If I'm in the airport, I will check in on the two of you. But I'm going to sit in the audience. You two are running the show tomorrow. I am going to be on my way to Barcelona. If anybody's there and wants to meet up, let me know. If anybody's in that area, I'm going to be there until next Tuesday. So a couple other updates on the show. Because it's summer, we're going to have Summer Fridays now where we're just going to take Fridays off. So the Good Day Room will still happen. So we're still going to do the Good Day Room at 11 a.m. and that is for the artist shout-outs where you get to shout out an artist, and that's going to be so we can put it onto our playlist. That's just a fun hangout room every Friday in that room. But Good Day will stay going Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Music News at noon is 12 p.m. Eastern. So now you know it's always 12 p.m. Eastern. So add or subtract your time zone difference. And we're going to do that Monday through Thursday. Every now and then there might not be one on Monday because once you hit this time from July to almost Labor Day, the news really slows down. So we don't want to start just getting on here and talking about, well, the Kardashian was dating this musician. And so, yeah, sorry, I'm not going to cover those Billboard articles. But if you want, maybe we can. Just let me know. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to do something. But we are going to be doing a lot more content that is rolling out on the website. So there's a lot going on for artists, for music business. There's going to be quite a bit. We're still doing the daily brief will also occur on the podcast, the Music Industry City podcast. Again, everything you need to know all about all these and everything is at musicindustrycity.com, and you can register for free. And with that, I also want to get final thoughts. Angela, just quick final thoughts on anything else from the topics of today.
Yeah, I just want to say another shout out to Beatport because I think it's really great that they're paying attention to EDM and electronic music mental health. A lot of people think band members, songwriters, singer-songwriters, performers, but DJs and folks in that field also do need to keep their mental health in check, and organizations that are looking out for them get my vote for coolest of the day. So thanks for that headline for sure.
Right on. All right, with that being said, we are going to wrap up. Angela, we're going to go hang out in Green Room for a few minutes. Why don't we just do the after show party in Green Room for a few minutes and hang out with them? And because there's the chat over there, and if anybody else wants to come join us, find us over in Green Room. With that being said, thank you, Angela. Thank you, Eli. You're holding it down tomorrow. And for everybody else, have a great day. I'll see you in 2 and 2, I guess. Bye later.
Safe travels. Cheerio.
Yeah, safe travels, traveling mercies, Peter. And it's great to see everyone. We hope you have a great day. We will see you tomorrow. Please tune in and check out how Angela and I do our best to fill in for people. And I'll see you tomorrow, Angela. Have a great day.